Good morning. Hope we are all good. It is day 2 on our habit challenge that we're doing in our Kickstart group, and also Tuesday, which means we have Pilates and Tai Chi this morning, all live from home. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about today was something that comes up so much, which is I'm good all day until about 4 p.m. I'm good all day until about 4 p.m. I have the best intentions, start the day really well, but then it all goes wrong. Does that sound familiar? If it does, let me know, and I'm going to kind of run through this a bit more. And this is going to sound really obvious. So the question I had yesterday was in our Kickstart that we went over, and she was saying that she starts the day off really well, maybe has a light breakfast or just skips it because she's not hungry. She maybe does some fasting because she's read that that's good, that's really healthy, and I'm not debating that it's not. There may be some health benefits from that, but I'm about to go into that in a second. She eats a light lunch, maybe some soup, something like that, and then it all goes wrong from afternoon onwards. Dinner is quite late, so she's like waiting for family to sit down, and she's hungry, picking, and I get that. Like just yesterday, me and Mrs. Fruci were like, right, we're gonna have steak night a bit later, eat without the kids, eat separately for once. So I fed them after I picked them up from nursery, and I was hungry. I was hungry at that time. And the thing is with that is you have to then give them their dinner and not eat anything. And this is a real self-awareness check for me, because I'm like, you know what, I prefer eating with them so much because we eat earlier, and that's the time when I normally start to be a bit peckish. And actually it works well with our evening sessions, or if I'm doing any talks, Q&As, seminars, whatever's going on in the evening, we do dinner, bath, bed, then I'm back on it, rather than being a bit hungry, picking, never being satisfied because I'm picking. One of our habits at the moment is putting your cutlery down between bites. So I wanted to go over this because I get it, and it's difficult when you're then hungry at that time. Now, what we kind of find is there's a bit of a correlation between what you do earlier in the day and how you respond at 4 o'clock. So if this sounds like you maybe lose control about 4 p.m, you start snacking, picking, then it's like, sod it, you have dinner, you're not even hungry anymore because you've eaten so much, you kind of ruin your dinner, then you're annoyed that you've ruined your dinner, then afterwards you just think, sod it, there's food out, it's too easy to grab. Then the next day you wake up with good intentions, let's sort it out, let's eat less, let's fast a bit again, and you repeat the cycle because you're not hungry in the morning because you're stuffed from the night before. You're then trying to compensate for yesterday constantly, then you beat yourself up because you're starving again. You've got to remember that there's no consistency for your body. We're eating a lot in the evening, which could impact in our sugar levels, our sleep. So what I want you to do is just try this. Morning, Mary. Give me a hello if you're coming in. Is try this. Number 1 is, it's going to sound really obvious, but eat a substantial, nourishing breakfast. Like, get some protein in it, get some vegetables in if you can. That's going to tick the box straight away for nourishing your body. Remember, what the strategies I'm about to give you now aren't necessarily weight loss strategies. They're strategies to get you more in control of that habit of losing control at 4 p.m. and in the evening. And it just so happens that if you do this, you will actually end up eating fewer calories and probably losing weight as a result, but doing it in a way that is nourishing your body and you feel satisfied from. So having a substantial breakfast with protein, whether that's yogurt, whether that's eggs, omelettes are great because you can chuck some vegetables in there. I'm not going to go into too much detail about what, but eating a nourishing lunch, like be sure to get some protein in. Morning, Norma, get some protein in, plenty of fibre. And if you can, because you've had a really satisfying breakfast, I often sometimes recommend just kind of having lunch about 1 o'clock, or if a bit later than midday if you can. Then having, if you can, an earlier dinner. So eating a bit earlier than you are. So in the Kickstart yesterday, one of the ladies was saying that she had her dinner normally about 7:30, 8, and she's like starving at 4, and it's just a constant battle from then. So the 2 options are to eat earlier, or she's actually going to plan in a bit of a snack or a meal that's actually planned, rather than don't eat. She's planned it in for 4 o'clock, so she's actually going to have a small meal then. And it might sound like a lot more, but actually the amount she ate, calories wise, a few nuts, bit of that, one of them, I must have 2 of them now. Starts off really innocent, gets worse and worse and worse with this kind of food choices. The calories add up. She could have just sat down and enjoyed a meal. Her stress levels would have been lower. Her hunger hormones would have been more, she'd have been more aware of them. She'd have enjoyed her food more. As she said yesterday, she would have actually been sat there thinking about what she's doing rather than eating it and just saying, stop eating that. This is her words, you lazy da-da-da. It's very simple, but it's not easy, okay? You're going to have to challenge your habits in this. So, planning a small meal for that 4 o'clock. And like I said, this specific situation is about gaining control again. It's not about, this is like a massive weight loss strategy straight away. But actually, you've got to remember that when you're in this situation, you're trying to develop a more positive relationship with food to help overcome and take control of those, any binges, urges. Now, one thing I will say to finish off with that is that you've got to do something instead in the evening. So one of the ladies said yesterday that she was going to, when she stays up later, she more likely to binge. When she just sits in front of the TV and stays up later, she's basically more like, that's her trigger. So she said what she's going to do is either read or knit for her granddaughters. And now the key thing with this, I love it because she's attached it to her granddaughter. So now it's like, it's not just I'm knitting, it's like I'm making this for my granddaughters, and if I don't do it, they're going to miss out. So then it's a question of, and this might sound harsh, but it's when you're just putting the facts there, is snacking more important than getting that done, making that for my granddaughters? And we even considered, we concluded at the end that, is life more than the food you eat in the evening? Yes. And she said, she kind of reflected with that. And she actually thought, you know what? Although I think I tell myself I get comfort from eating in the evening, I actually don't. It lasts so short and I'm beating myself up when I'm doing it. I enjoy it a little bit. The taste, no one can deny that. Takes my mind off a few things for a minute or so. But actually it provides discomfort. And the language you use is really important. If you keep telling yourself, I keep comfort eating, your brain's going to go, comfort, that's a good thing. If you keep telling yourself, I keep discomfort eating, eventually you're going to go, why am I discomfort eating? Anyway, I'll leave you with that. Nourish your body, take control. Small habits, compound effect. Small habits, compound effect, they add up. Remember that. When one of the ladies said, here's my goal, is it too unrealistic to say that I want to lose 2 stone? And I'm like, no, how long have you got? She said, when do you want to lose 2 stone by? I was like, would you be happy, say, I don't know, half a year from now, if you lost 2 stone? And she was like, yeah, I'll be more than happy, but it's not going to happen. I said, could you lose half to a pound a week? And she's like, yes, I could actually. And when we put it like that, okay, I want to lose, say, I don't know, 20 odd pounds. When you think about it as, okay, 20 pounds is hard to lose, but actually £1 20 times sounds a lot easier. And you got to remember that sometimes when you step on the scales, it's down half a pound or up half a pound. That's normal. That's normal. And actually, you've got to then focus on your process a little bit more, like we do in here, on your habits. So you can check in with me every day with what you did do, your food, your fitness, your self-care, and your benefits cards. You're aware of what you're doing, because actually, if you focus on a number that you're not 100% in control of, you're always going to get to a stage where you beat yourself up and go, what's the point? Whereas actually, if you go, you know what, I did 2 exercise sessions this week. How many did you do last week? None. But I'm annoyed I didn't do 3. See that mindset? You did 2 though. You did 2. Remember that. Anyway, hope that helps. We are off for morning Pilates, 6:30, Tai Chi, 7:15, and I will leave you with that. Then we got a no floor, knee friendly, 9:30. We're doing stomach blast tonight. So take care and speak soon.